Marketing wasn't even really on my mind. It was mainly just production. If somebody had told me that I was going to post a video that was going to get 10,000 views, I would have laughed in their face. Their artist support seemed almost impossible. The knowledge that Liam had really kind of like changed it for me, I would say.
Anybody who was watching this video and they were contemplating joining Industry Set, what would you say to them?
This is a lot different than what I thought it could be.
What were like the main things that you wanted to get help on when you first applied? What were the main things in production and marketing?
When I first reached out, marketing wasn't even really on my mind. It was mainly just production, production specific as to like, sound design, really. Like some of the coaches that like Industry Set had really kind of like what drew me in initially, because I didn't think that my music was even near good enough to be marketed, which is why like I was like, really production focused in the beginning. It wasn't later until like my confidence as a like producer and sound designer was like built up that I was like, okay, like now maybe marketing is like a possibility.
Was that after the first semester you felt like things clicked, or do you feel like it was maybe in the second?
I felt like in the first semester, like my foundation was set, my confidence was growing. Feedback that I was getting during the first semester really like built up that confidence of mine. And then in the second semester is like really when I think it like clicked and came together. And then that's when I was like, okay, yeah, this is something that's like definitely I'm like ready to market.
Was there anything specific why you picked us over other platforms?
Industry Set was really the one that like made me feel like they had their shit together and like they knew what they were doing. The coaches that Industry Set had was really appealing to me at the time. I remember that for sure.
Everyone here is like a touring artist or full time, so like you're learning from people that have already done the thing that you're trying to do. They're not just like some business guy.
I remember in the ads or something, it was talking about like Cal Neotech. I was like super excited. And then I was like, wait, I can have him in the first semester. I'm in calls with like Neotech. He's in a different Airbnb every other week and he's about to do this show. And he's like, yeah, I just got back from Lost Lands. And like I was on the, main stage and, different things like that. It's like, yeah, I mean, of course you want to be a part of that. Of course, like you want to learn from that, like directly. And especially at like a weekly call.
Yeah, everyone's got different reasons why, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons is that it's like built for artists by artists. Every coach was a pre-existing student, so it's like we do that by design because that way somebody has more confidence that hey, they did it and they worked hard and then they got the result they wanted and this worked out for them. So I know I can too. You put in the work, and that's why you got a good result. It wasn't just because Industry Set's good at teaching, but it's also because you're one of the kinds of students we really look for. How did you feel about content strategy, branding, like releasing music and, reaching out to artists and stuff like that?
I think the beginning, it was like, daunting. It seemed like a lot. Going into the second semester and even maybe a little bit the third semester, artist support seemed almost impossible. Going into the third semester, really kind of like focused on marketing and branding and like, concept and stuff like that. And I think that's whenever my like confidence in marketing, like the artist brand really grew. It was like, okay, now I have an idea or something to like wrap my head around. Kind of just doing the reps and sets of content, getting the feedback of, videos and stuff like that. And then understanding how to use these platforms in ways that like, I really wasn't used to. Sometimes even now, like I'll think of myself as like a content creator before I'm a producer. But I've also fallen in love with that. Like I really enjoy it. The knowledge that Liam had, it really kind of like changed it for me, I would say.
Where do you feel like you'd be right now if you hadn't gone through that whole like transformation?
My confidence, like as a producer before Industry Set, was not that high just because of like where I thought my skill levels at. I probably would have just been stagnant. I probably, would have plateaued. Honestly, I have no idea where I would be, but I can imagine that there's a good chance that it probably just wouldn't be anything at all.
Sometimes we just need the certainty, and it sounds like for you, it was like you knew what you wanted to do, and you knew there was things that within reach, but you just didn't know what they were, and that
Yeah.
certainty is sometimes all we need.
There was a point in the third semester where like I was feeling kind of like iffy. I think when I got like my first artist support, was from Soul Valiant. I remember I posted in school. You get artist support, which I've gotten quite a few now, but you get artist support and it's like, okay, this person has no relationship with me. They could care less of who I am or, whatever the case is, but they like something or an idea that I've made enough to, download it or comment or, whatever the case is. That's really whenever I was like, okay, like this is a lot different than what I thought it could be.
You have leverage to get more things, because it's like you're getting some videos at like 10K views now, and then it's like you're getting some artist support. Like it's only up from here because you can use
Right.
those things to get more things now.
The leverage was like a big thing too, because, at the beginning of industry said, like, if somebody had told me that I was going to post a video that was going to get 10,000 views, I would have laughed in their face. Even back then, if I got a video at 10,000 views, I wouldn't have known what to do with that. Or like if I got artist support, I wouldn't have known what to do with that leverage. But like now that I have it, I know how to like use it to my advantage.
If anybody was watching this video and they were contemplating joining Industry Set and were a little bit on the fence about joining, they were unsure of, what to expect, what would you say to them based on the experience that you had?
If it isn't the one-on-one weekly calls with a coach that is, one-on-one time dedicated, or if it isn't like the multiple group calls that are set up throughout each week, the way that like the course is set up, that alone will set you up. But that other stuff kind of on top of it really like makes a complete package. If industry set from the beginning was kind of sold to me as like, hey, you'll get this one-on-one like weekly coaching, that probably would have been enough. And then it's like, okay, we also do all these group calls. Okay, the curriculum also, it's something that you can always go back to forever. Also, we have these cheat sheets and we have these contacts. Yeah, if anybody was on the fence about it, I would say all of the tools exist in industry set. Like you had said before, like if you just don't use them, then that's on you. But they exist and they're just like waiting.